A few years ago, I called my sister. Anna, you know that I'm writing my memoir. Can you help me fill in some missing pieces? I remember Dad beating me, in fact, beating me until I was bloody. But do you remember what I did to... She interrupted me. Just don't write anything about me in that book of yours. You need to just forgive and forget. Forgive and forget. And above all, don't air our family's dirty laundry. Hi, this is Marlena Fiol from Becoming Who We Truly Are, a YouTube channel that deepens our understanding of who we are and also who we can become. Okay, so I understand why it was especially important for our family's dirty laundry to remain a secret. Our parents were Mennonite missionaries in Paraguay, South America. They were strict, fundamentalist, God-fearing Christians whose primary purpose in life was to do the Lord's work. They founded and ran a leprosy hospital in East Paraguay that eventually became a model for the treatment of leprosy around the world. So my father was a hero in the eyes of the medical world as well as the Mennonite church. That kind of hero certainly wouldn't have anything dirty to hide. I remember it as though it was yesterday, and I've written about it in my memoir. I'd like to read a brief excerpt for you. I don't know why you always make me do this. Dad's voice was thick with anger. He grabbed my arm and pulled me along behind him, out of the girls' bedroom and out to the veranda that surrounded our house and toward his room. Even though I knew I couldn't win, I tugged with all of my weight and dug my heels hard against the uneven tiles of the veranda. But my 9-year-old body was no match for my father's strong 6-foot frame. With his free hand, he turned the round wooden doorknob to his room and shoved me through the door without making a sound. I coiled my body away from him like a crazed wild animal. Roughly pulling me along, he snatched the leather strap from the hook in his bedroom and wet it in the corner water basin. I kicked and writhed to get out of his grip, but this only made him grasp me more fiercely. His left hand dug into my skull and grabbed a handful of my thick hair as he pushed my head down between the bed and his thigh, pinning me under his leg. While one arm held my thrashing body down against his leg, he pushed his other hand up under my skirt and yanked down my cotton panties. No, no, Daddy, no. I howled into the coarse bedspread, but the strap came down hard. Once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5. By the time he pushed me aside and stood to leave, I had stopped screaming. Tell me you're sorry, he glared at me, eyes fiery with rage. I glowered back, saying nothing, panties dangling around my ankles. After what seemed like hours, I heard the wooden doorknob click and sensed rather than saw him moving toward me again. I knelt by the bed, my eyes closed to keep from looking at him, but I held my head high and my chin thrust out defiantly. Tell me you're sorry, he hissed. My body recoiled from the fury still in his voice, and I knew it wasn't over. I said nothing. You give me no choice, he said through clenched teeth, and turned to wet the strap again. Years passed. I married and had 2 children. Then I was divorced twice. It seemed that every time I got up on my feet, I fell down again, each time harder than the last. In the midst of that all too familiar place at rock bottom, I began to learn the futility of one more attempt to explain away or to justify what was happening to me. And I gradually began to shed pieces of my defiant and angry outer shell. At the same time, I became aware that my father, that willful and powerful hero doctor who seemed invincible to the world and to me, was also experiencing blows to his ego. The great pioneer of the leprosy work eventually didn't accept changing treatment protocols, and he was asked to step down. And he never again found that perfect combination of adventure and God's work. At the intersection of our brokenness, healing became possible. Seeing the rocky transition from defiance to defeat in each of our lives, we began to lean into each other with a compassion we hadn't known before. And during the last 20 years of his life, my father and I had a very close relationship. To remind us of the healing between us, we said 5 important words to each other every time we said goodbye during the last 20 years of his life. In our native Low German, we said, "Da ist nichts zwischen uns," which means there's nothing between us. There's nothing bad between us. So why air our dirty secrets now? As painful as parts of our story may be, especially for people devoted to my father and to the Mennonite church that was his bedrock, I believe, as widely respected spiritual teacher Richard Rohr has said, wisdom is where you see it all and you eliminate none of it and include all of it as important training. Finally, everything belongs. You're able to say from some larger place that even surprises you, it is what it is, and even the bad was good. In fact, I strongly believe that it's only by confronting our ugly and dirty secrets with brutal honesty that we can truly learn from them and move beyond them. For those of you deeply engaged in your own quest to becoming who you truly are, I just want to say that my path may not be yours. I've talked about a way that I have attempted to move forward toward greater peace in my own life, but naturally only you can decide what the best path is for you. If you found value in this program, please do give it a thumbs up or click the subscribe button. It does matter. Also, please post any comments or questions you might have for me. I am interested and I'll respond promptly. For example, how have you dealt with dirty secrets from your past? In addition, just so you know, I'll be posting a new episode of this YouTube show each Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. For further information about the often controversial issue about whether or not it's helpful or even ethical to share your family's dark secrets, we recommend the following resources. First, a TEDx presentation by Tule Akoglu describing the cost of family secrets. Also, a TEDx talk by Sarah Montana on the real risk of forgiveness and why it's worth it. And for a deeper look into my family life on a remote leprosy station in Paraguay, South America, we recommend my memoir, Nothing Bad Between Us, as well as our new historical novel, Called. The web addresses of each of these are in the show notes. And remember, we are together on this journey.